Lim Tean, chief of the People's Alliance for Reform, launched a spirited election campaign via a live video broadcast on Nomination Day, 23 April 2025. Speaking from Potong Pasir SMC, where he is contesting a three-cornered fight, Lim pledged to rejuvenate the ward's opposition legacy and criticised the People's Action Party over various governance issues. Potong Pasir will see a three-way contest between Lim, Williamson Lee of the Singapore People's Party, and newly introduced PAP candidate Alex Yeo. The contest marks a significant battle for an SMC with a storied opposition history under former MP Lim Tean. Lim used the live session on Facebook to recount his nomination experience at the Guillemard Grove Centre, where nominations for 4 constituencies were processed, including Potong Pasir. According to Lim, the process went smoothly, with all candidates filing their papers on time. The speech quickly pivoted to a broader critique of the ruling party. Lim expressed regret over walkovers in some constituencies, attributing them to strategic withdrawals by opposition parties such as the Workers' Party's pullout from Marine Parade GRC. "I never liked walkovers," Lim said, adding that such occurrences deprived voters of choice. He rejected the by-election strategy in which opposition parties contest fewer seats to concentrate voter dissatisfaction, saying it was a relic of an older political era. Lim launched a strong attack on the PAP, calling the years 2023 and 2024 a period of an annus horribilis for the ruling party. He cited incidents such as the GST hike, data breaches involving the NRIC system, and perceived ministerial mishandling of critical issues. "These years have tainted the PAP," he said. "They've come into this election as a weakened and scandal-ridden force." He also criticised pre-election welfare efforts, such as the distribution of free vegetables and eggs in constituencies like Bukit Gombak, labelling them vote-buying gimmicks disguised as community aid. Lim argued that such practices could breach election expense laws and should be scrutinised by the Elections Department. Lim raised pointed concerns over what he described as questionable practices by PAP members of Parliament in the lead-up to the general election, particularly in constituencies where electoral battles were anticipated. He cited specific instances such as the distribution of free eggs in public areas and the sale of heavily subsidised vegetables in Bukit Gombak SMC, which he described as ridiculous and tantamount to inducement. According to Lim, these activities occurred shortly after the writ of election had been issued and could therefore fall foul of electoral expense regulations. Singapore's election laws stipulate that each candidate is subject to a strict spending cap, currently $5 per voter in the constituency. Lim argued that the value of physical goods handed out to residents, whether free or sold at sharply reduced prices, should be counted toward this spending limit. "It does not matter whether you pay a media company $5 or $6 to produce content, or whether you give $5 or $6 worth of vegetables to your constituents. Either way, it constitutes election expenses," Lim explained. Describing the actions as not lawful from his perspective as a lawyer, Lim called on the Elections Department and relevant authorities to investigate such practices thoroughly. He emphasized the need for a level playing field during the campaign, warning that such forms of pre-election generosity could distort democratic fairness. "These are not just harmless giveaways. They are strategically timed actions meant to sway voters emotionally and materially," he said. He stressed that the integrity of the electoral process depends on transparency and strict adherence to campaign finance rules. Lim also criticized what he viewed as a deeper issue, the reliance of the PAP on short-term material inducements in lieu of substantive policy solutions. He suggested that such tactics reflected the party's increasing desperation amid declining public confidence and dissatisfaction with recent government decisions. "These aren't solutions. They're distractions," he said, asserting that voters were growing more discerning and aware of such strategies. Turning to his own campaign, Lim voiced confidence in his prospects, stating that recent history showed voters tend to gravitate towards stronger opposition candidates in multi-cornered fights. He believes he is best positioned to challenge the PAP's Alex Yeo. "I believe firmly in my heart that I am that stronger candidate," he said, urging voters in Potong Pasir to coalesce around my candidacy. He expressed pride in contesting a ward once held by Lim Tean from 1984 to 2011, and noted that his decision to contest Potong Pasir followed deep reflection and consideration. Lim also commented on the Workers' Party's manoeuvres on the eastern side of Singapore, noting their repositioning from Marine Parade and East Coast to areas like Tampines, Pasir Ris, and Punggol. He predicted that Tampines GRC could be the Workers' Party's strongest opportunity, citing its high proportion of Malay voters and compact geography. Wrapping up the video, Lim committed to daily live updates throughout the 9-day campaign period, offering voters insights into his positions and on-the-ground experiences.